Hey, this video is in response to G-Man's video, Atheists Lack Critical Thinking. I'm going to touch on two of the points that he makes in this video, starting with the idea that atheists believe in naturalistic gods and that we only claim to not believe in supernatural gods. Evidently, this means that we do not use critical thinking skills because the gods that people claim that they believe in, such as the cows that Indian people believe in, or people such as celebrities who are highly venerated, are in fact gods. That I don't know. They're people that we worship heavily, I guess. It's insubstantial to most atheists. See, it's ignoring the fact that most of us only have issues with supernatural gods, such as the God of the Bible, because he makes all these rules that we're supposed to follow that a lot of the time it's just not really good for modern society, you know? For a very long time, the whole push behind gay people not being able to get married was because of what the Bible said. Two loving people were not able to come together in wedlock very simply because so many people believed that, oh no, it's an abomination to be gay. It's wrong. It's a sin. God says you can't get married, so you can't get married. And so two perfectly comfortable, loving people are not able to show their love in the same way that a heterosexual couple would have been able to do. Now, let's look at these naturalistic gods for a moment. They don't really make such rules, you know? Like, if you go up to a hippie that believes that the sun is his god, then, well, I mean, good for you, I guess. The sun is really there. I admit it, the sun exists, your god exists. But whenever it comes down to very serious conversation, I'm just going to look at that hippie and go, yeah, the sun is there, but it's just the sun. There's nothing special about it. I mean, if you want to call it God, you can, but it doesn't really matter all that much to me. It's just the sun. The big question that I would have for G-Man over all this, though, is what exactly is the point of this argument? I mean, if you have an atheist that is willing to admit that, oh, well, the sun is there, I guess I do believe in God, I'm not an atheist anymore. Well, that atheist didn't become a Christian. They're still just in as much danger of going to hell as they were before, so what's the point? I mean, what did you accomplish other than, I guess, trying to anger the people who say that they're atheists? Because you can point at them and laugh and go, ha ha ha, you're not an atheist. See, I told you. Well, big deal. I don't think that's really what God wants you to be doing. The second point that I would like to touch on is the idea of evolution. In this video, you put out there that atheists lack critical thinking skills because we believe in evolution, but there's not any good evidence the way that you see it. It's been faked, it's not real. But in this same argument, you are willing to admit that microevolution is real. And the argument, I mean, there is no such thing as microevolution, G-Man. Microevolution is the same thing as macroevolution, just it hasn't been allowed to go on for a long enough time for us to see the differences. Let me try and explain it like this. Let's say that you are standing out in a field, and in front of you there is a line that runs straight for miles and miles and miles. And you take that line and you turn it just 1 degree to the left. Now, you looking at that line and that one small change that you have made cannot really tell the difference in what you've done just looking at it. It still is going to look pretty straight to you. But if you follow that line for the miles and miles that it runs, then that 1 single degree that you have shifted it is going to keep on accumulating onto itself until eventually the end of that line is miles to the left. That one small change accumulated over and over and over again turns into a very large, very noticeable change. The same way that all of the small changes that people claim to be microevolution will in millions and millions of years, the amount of time that we expect to be able to see the differences in evolutionary states will turn into very, very large, very noticeable differences. They'll all compile to change an animal from one thing to something completely different. I hope that you take what I've said here genuinely. It's honestly how I believe. I look forward to your video response and maybe even talking to you in the future. I enjoyed the last hangout. See you later.